all employees would have to do is type in their browser HRAeducate.com, and then as soon as they click enter, what will happen is they'll be transferred to the next page. So the next page, as soon as you enter, is an access code. For your company, I'll create a specific access code that will delegate employees directly to your company. And the reason I say that is because a lot of companies actually use the tool. So for us not to mishmash, employees and get other companies confused with who is this employee, what it automatically does is once you put in the access code, it automatically sends them to their company that they belong to, and no other company will get the access code of a different company. So that's the whole reason why this exists. And as soon as employees come in, what they'll have to do is sign up, as you can see over here. But because I've already signed up, I'm just going to sign in. And we sign in. And once you sign in, you're greeted by this welcoming page, which explains that it's a workplace harassment training. And the purpose of it is to understand and prevent harassment in South African workplaces. So over and above that, it also just explains what you'll expect from the tool. So there's educational content, which you can see in this tab here. And then there's knowledge assessments, which you need to do in order to receive your certificate of compliance. So this certificate of compliance is only given if you complete your assessments. Fortunately, the assessments aren't long. They're about 8 questions per assessment, and there's 2 assessments. So the first assessment, and I'll show you what they look like. We have all the different forms of harassment that we have here, and they are broken down into mini modules, you can call them. So if I click onto sexual harassment, for instance, as soon as I go in, each tab is the same, each module. So there's an overview, there's key points that you can use to recognize the type of harassment. There's examples of what kinds of harassment would be considered sexual harassment, for instance. And what do you do if you experience this? So there's different types of legal processes that you need to follow in order to, combat the sexual harassment, as well as what, according to the law, is the framework that helps protect employees against this form of harassment. So all modules are the same. They all look like this. And what you'll see as well is that there is a text-to-speech function that I've added as well. So for those employees that, for instance, are trying to listen to the modules because they struggle, to read, or it's better for them to listen to modules than to read, then you have that text-to-speech option here where you can choose a different voice depending on what your preference is. Next, I'm going to go onto the Progress tab. So on the Progress tab, because I've done this exercise, as you can see here, I mentioned that in order for you to receive your certificate, your final score needs to be at least 6 out of 8. For your initial score, it's going to gauge your score here, as you can see, and say, this is how much of an understanding I have on harassment. And then in between the assessment, there's a mini educational tab that appears again, that just deep dives into the topics again, to prepare you for that final assessment, where, as you can see, the score difference, I got 3 out of 8 in the initial assessment, and in the final assessment, I got 8 out of 8, which shows that that educational tab did assist me in preparing me for that final assessment. And as you can see, I can download my certificate as normal, and it downloads in the form of a PDF, as you can see over here. Each employee will receive this. So my company name is TLC Admin. It's got my name over here, as well as certificate of completion for workplace harassment prevention training. And it shows the date on which I completed it. It shows all my scores, and it shows all the topics that were covered as well. So each employee will receive one of these with your company name here, their name, and their scores. And if an employee, for instance, is not happy with their scores, so I'm not happy with my 3 out of 8, I can retake the assessment again. And when I retake the assessment, it's going to take me back to the beginning. So these are what the questions look like. And the nice thing about this is that not everyone's going to receive the same questions. So yes, it's 8 questions, but in the background, there's actually 24 questions that the system automatically selects for each employee. So yes, at some point, someone will get the same questions, but not in every rotation.